どこだか弱そうだな。
お前何言ってんだ。
黙れ。お前の彼女待ってやる。ちゃんと言って。
What's up, guys? So I'm still kind of trying to figure out where I should set up my little makeshift tripod that I made. So you're gonna see me in different positions of my little tiny apartment. But hopefully this one is okay. So that little video that I just showed, that is a project I wasn't actually part of, but in my Japanese Intermediate 2 class, another group made it, and I don't think they realized how good it was. So I'm trying to get other people to see it. The link to he's the tall guy that's playing the villain in the video. It's his YouTube channel. It's gonna be in the description. I think I said that already. But I mean, if you compare it to the one I made right here.
もしもし、ケンタと申します。どうなさいましたか？
ケンさん、今度は女子だよ。なんで敬語を使ってるの？
Obviously, if you watch the entire video, it took a lot of creativity. But now to get to the meat of the video. So this is going to be another one of my attempts at making a, I guess a positive reaction video, as I've never made reaction videos before until this week. I've made 2. But let's get started.
Hey there. Welcome to Life Noggin.
Thanks, Life Noggin.
Chances are you felt a little bit of anxiety at one point or another. Maybe before you started a new job or before you got surgery. But some people live with anxiety disorders,
like this guy,
which are much more persistent and severe than normal feelings of anxiety or nervousness. Almost 30% of adults will be affected by these conditions in their lifetime, which begs the question, what are anxiety disorders anyway? People with anxiety disorders frequently experience feelings of excessive fear, worry, and panic in normal everyday life. They may be grocery shopping and suddenly feel a wave of terror for no reason at all.
And that's how my panic attacks started, or at least the ones I've been having as an adult. I was in a train station. I actually talked about it in my video about my experiences with having panic disorder. Go a lot more in detail, but basically I was coming out of a train station. I was feeling really confused. My heart was racing. I thought I was having a heart attack. And it was all around just not a good experience. Then whenever I started back fall semester last year, every time I had a Japanese test, I started having a panic attack. And if you go through my channel, I've talked about this a lot. So, there's no need for me to really regurgitate everything right here, so
it isn't always momentary attacks like that. Oftentimes, it's persistent, hard to control fear that affects people's everyday lives. This anxiety and the coupling symptoms like trouble concentrating, fatigue.
Now, trouble concentrating, that is something I can definitely relate to. As soon as I started taking my trazodone, I instantly noticed that I was able to focus on my Japanese homework better. So that's definitely that was definitely a sure sign that my anxiety was really bad.
Fatigue, and
now fatigue. After my nervous breakdown last June, on my birthday, I felt tired constantly, and I was constantly in what my counselor was able to explain to me afterwards was a semi-dissociative state. It was kind of a mixture of adrenal fatigue and from being hypervigilant. Your adrenaline is spiking so much that your body just can't handle it, and it starts to just feel exhausted constantly. And it was the same when I was on my second ship. I was going through a lot of personal stuff, which I also talk about a lot on this channel. I developed a reputation. I was actually my nickname on the ship was Snorlax, which I think was partially because I snore when I sleep, but also I was falling asleep really easily. And I couldn't understand why I was constantly tired, because I'm normally a very energetic person, but I found out afterwards it was because my anxiety was so high. So that's something to look for if you're feeling very fatigued, because I've explained this to one of my friends before. She couldn't figure out why she always felt sick and tired, and I said, especially because women are more prone to anxiety, it's a strong possibility it's anxiety, because there's been times where or I even expect it now, if I feel sick, it's probably just my anxiety and I need to just take some time off and relax. Oh, and a little fun fact, I didn't realize this when I was on my second ship. I started blacking out whenever I would drink, and it turns out whenever you're anxious, your nervous system is more it's more impaired, which causes you to and alcohol relaxes your nervous system in layman's terms, and that will cause you to black out easier. So if you are feeling anxious, you should try to stay away from alcohol. I mean, granted, I never take that advice, but I've given that advice to you.
Anxiety is not just an overreaction or a personal weakness. There is science backing up these diseases, so telling someone to relax or let it go can be pretty insulting. These conditions are deeply rooted, and it's not that easy.
I'm having a panic attack.
Oh, okay. Well, then you calm down.
If I could calm down, I wouldn't be having a panic attack. That's why they got a panic attack. All right.
Now, depending upon if I was able to find the clip from Big Bang Theory or not, you just saw a clip that I thought was very good of how people react whenever someone's having a panic attack. But that was something that happened after my panic attack on my birthday. My friend that was probably the most helpful during the situation, he said afterwards, I was telling you were going to be all right and everything was okay. But that's why it's called a panic attack. It overwhelms you. You can't really, it's like having an asthma attack. You can't tell somebody, oh, I told you your asthma was okay. Or I mean, and plus that, how did he know I was going to be okay? He doesn't know my health conditions or anything. That's why I said in another video, in a situation like that, it's best to call an ambulance, which is what they eventually did. And plus, with people like me, I'm a large part of my causes of panic attacks is my fear of causing negative feelings in other people. So the last thing you want to make me do is feel guilty for having a panic attack in front of you. So,
regardless of what may have caused the onset of an anxiety disorder, there are a number of different types you can have. General excessive, uncontrollable nervousness is called generalized anxiety disorder. Agoraphobia is extreme fear of being trapped and unable to escape. The fear of being embarrassed in social situations is social anxiety disorder. Panic disorder comes with extreme sudden panic and impending doom.
So along with PTSD, I have panic disorders, and I've been experiencing the symptoms of panic disorder ever since I was 6 years old, or well, 6 to 8 years old. I'm not sure exactly when, because I didn't really pay attention back then. But I experienced them in the form of depersonalization, which I also talk about in a video on this channel, because I've talked about anxiety a ton on this channel. But when I was a kid, I never realized what was happening, so I just assumed I was tired, or the world was just weird. But then whenever I started having, like I was saying before, I started having, daily panic attacks. Whenever I started in college after, getting out of the Navy, and I got to the point where I had to drink alcohol before my classes just to avoid having panic attacks, because if not, I wouldn't be able to take my tests and I'd start failing my classes, and that would start my catastrophic thinking, so that'd make it even worse. But thankfully I don't have to do that anymore. I'm doing all right now, and you can be too if you have anxiety.
About 30% of people with anxiety disorders go through life without seeking treatment. But as horrible as these conditions are, they are treatable. Benzodiazepines and antidepressants are commonly used to treat anxiety.
And I'm on benzos, but I cannot take antidepressants because they make me manic.
Talking to a therapist is very helpful too. CBT, or cognitive behavioral therapy, reduces anxiety by creating a new way of thinking, reacting, and behaving. Those with anxiety disorders are often advised to avoid alcohol, drugs, and caffeine, and to exercise regularly. Other self-care techniques like meditating and yoga can be effective in lessening anxiety too. And remember, there is no shame in seeking help to improve your mental health.
And yes, there is no shame in seeking help. I'm very open about the fact that I've been in counseling for not just anxiety, I have other issues as well. I mean, I talk about it all the time on this channel. So anybody that's been watching me regularly probably knows all my issues already. But yes, don't ever be afraid to seek help, and if you ever have any questions, if I'm able to help you, please ask. So as always, if you like my video, subscribe. If you like music, buy it. And if you hate me, tell everybody. Out.